How do I replace my income if I leave this job? This is for Black women in toxic jobs. So, this video is to talk about practical steps that you can take to prepare yourself to leave that toxic job so you can start replacing your income. Many Black women that I've talked to, one of the biggest reasons that they say about their reasons for staying at a toxic job is because of finances and concerns about finances. So, for my videos, a lot of them talk about healing and the need to really check in with yourself, really recognize the environment in terms of if it's toxic and the harm that you may be experiencing at the toxic job. So, a lot of my videos talk about that because I think as Black women that, we have been programmed in such a way by society that we work hard and we just stick in there. We do all these different things for so many different people that we may lose sight of ourselves and our health. And I've talked about that at length in a number of my videos. I've also cited research that really highlights the significant physical toll that being in a stressful, toxic work environment can have on you. So check out those videos I have about that. I also want to start including more videos about how to. How do you pivot? How do you get out? And this is specifically for Black women who are ready to leave. So you could be on a continuum in terms of ready to leave. You might be at, the baby part about, I am not liking this place. I'm hating this place. I got to get out of here. So no matter where you are on that continuum, my hope is my videos can offer you some support. And so this video is more so for those of you who are really considering, want to leave, but again, you feel stuck by concerns about finances. So I wanted to share with you some tips, offer you some tips about ways that you can start replacing your income. And when I talk about this is for, if you're thinking, okay, I want to leave in like 3 months, 6 months, a year. Okay. Now, I say this and I'll say this again. My videos are not to convince anyone to leave a toxic job if you don't want to leave. If you want to stay there, that is your choice. My videos are not focused on that. My videos are for Black women who are starting to recognize that the toxic job is harming them and they want out. They want a better life for themselves. So that's who I'm talking to. So if that's your situation, I want to offer you some free tips about some ways that maybe you can start preparing yourself financially, okay? And then I'm going to have a financial masterclass coming up soon with a Black woman financial psychologist who actually helped me get myself ready so I can get out of that toxic job. So I'm so excited to partner with her. I will have the financial masterclass waiting list link in the description section. So I just want to offer you a few tips, okay? So as I share the tips, I'm going to also talk to you about my journey in terms of how I was able to pivot in terms of multiple streams of income. And I make a lot more than I used to make at that previous toxic job. Okay. I think a lot of people think that if you leave a toxic job, then automatically you're just going to be it's no way you can work. You're not going to have any money. And all these fears start cropping up. So I invite us to really sit and pause and recognize that a lot of these responses are fear-based. And if you look at the data, if you look at your history, more than likely you've seen that you've been able to get jobs. You've been able to pivot. You've been able to do these things. So why would now be different? Okay, that's the fear speaking to you. So again, I'm going to talk to you about some possible ways for you to replace your income. And I want to talk about this too, because some of the Black women who contact me, talk to me about the videos that I do and that they're helpful. And I want to help as many Black women as I can. I really, like I said, I'm ushering in a movement to help as many Black women to leave and heal from toxic jobs. I'm saying this as a Black woman, as a Black woman toxic job survivor, as a licensed clinical psychologist. I'm saying that from all those hats that I really want better for us. And so when I think about what I'm trying to do and what my mission is at this point in my life, that I, again, want to help support as many Black women as I can. I recognize that while I do offer some additional services to Black women in terms of helping you leave, coming up with the exit plan, not every Black woman can work with me, just in terms of my time and maybe, not being able to afford my services. So understand that. So I just want to be able to still provide services that are accessible to everyone. Okay. So in terms of thinking about replacement income, I invite you to start thinking about what are the skills that you currently utilize at your job. So, whatever those skills are, I invite you to write those down. Okay. I invite you also to think about, have people already started approaching you? Maybe people you've met at your job. Have they already approached you and started asking you about, do you do this? Would you be interested in that? There's a contract for this. Are you interested in that? Okay. Be open to that. And even though you might feel like, I don't feel like doing that or whatever, I'm just asking you, please be open to that. And I'm going to share a story with you in terms of how my being open to that has helped me. So at that toxic job, it wasn't all bad. So at your toxic job, it might not be all bad too. I've met some fabulous people, some really, really good people, many of whom I'm still connected to. And a lot of the things that I was able to pivot to in terms of streams of income came as a result of me working at that toxic job. And I wasn't seeking it out. So again, when you're more open, when you are saying to yourself, okay, I know it's time for me to go. Okay. I'm open to the possibilities. I'm open to exploring what are the possibilities that might help me pivot out of this job so I can have replacement income. So that's the first step. Be open. Okay. So for me, I'm a clinical psychologist. So I've been trained to do psychological testing. At the toxic job, never did testing at all. Okay. I've done some other videos about that, how they were like, oh, we have to demote you because you have to do testing. Even I never did testing, not one day at that toxic job. So when I took a leave of absence, there was a Black woman that I met through the job. She didn't work at the job, but I met her through work activities. And again, I didn't really have contact with her. She contacted me out of the blue, and she said, "I'm currently working at this private school, and we have a list of testers, and I wanted to know if you wanted to be considered as one of the list of testers. And then, parents will pay you to have their child tested to see if they qualify for entrance in this school." So, and this is a sign too, this might be similar to you. For me, previously, when I didn't have an immediate way to understand or could figure it out, sometimes I would just immediately say, no, no, not available, right? But something told me just be open, just go to the meeting and see what they say. So I went to the meeting. So it's the Black woman and then the director of admissions or something like that, director of admissions at the school. And so he was telling me about, they're trying to diversify the kids coming into the school, and it's very selective to get into the school. You have to have an IQ test with a very high cutoff. And he's telling me about that. And I'm like, okay, I'm just listening. I'm trying to be open as much as possible. And so then he says, might you be interested in this? And so I'm already kind of like, do I want to do something like this? Do I want to do testing? This sounds kind of elitist. So I'm already like saying these negative things to myself, right? Do I want to do that? And some said, just be open. So I said, I'm not quite sure because I used to do testing in my private practice many years ago, but I sold all my testing materials, right? And testing materials are thousands of dollars. Okay. So I already sold mine off. And so he said this. Now, this is a sign, again, to be open. So I'm thinking, well, that closed the door to that because I'm not buying a whole bunch of test materials for this thing. I'm not doing that. He said, we will buy the test materials for you, and you can we'll put them on loan to you. And you can, we'll have a courier send them to your home. So they had a courier send me thousands of dollars of test material to my home. And that is one of my streams of income. It's testing. So again, I was open and look what has come. Okay. So again, I invite you to think about that. Something else in terms of something that I enjoy doing, something I had been doing prior to starting that toxic job, but something that I think my skills really developed more so at that toxic job in terms of creating and presenting trainings. And again, another situation, I'm just open and people are seeking me out. So I met somebody through that toxic job, and this person says, "Hey, would you like to do training on this intervention?" Right? So the toxic job, I was assigned to be a supervisor of this particular intervention and all that, right? Now, when I was at the toxic job, I didn't like doing that because I didn't like being at the toxic job and I didn't like anything related to it, right? So I was like, so when they came to me and said, "Oh, we would like for you to train this intervention," I'm thinking, I didn't like it, the toxic job, but I said, "You know what? I'm gonna be open. I'm gonna be open." And I cannot tell you how beneficial this has been. This is a major stream of income for me as well. Okay. So testing is a stream of income that is particularly lucrative during a certain time of year. Okay. So if you are deciding to do something on your own or a side hustle, keep in mind when that stream of income might be more accessible. Okay. So think about that. So testing, particularly during a certain time of year, it's more lucrative. And then training has been lucrative for me throughout the year. And what I love about the trainings that I do is that some of them are virtual. So from my house, I'm getting paid very well to do trainings on an intervention that I used to have to do at the toxic job, put in a leadership position about that as a supervisor. And because of that, I was able to pivot and do the trainings on my own. And then the other thing that I love about it is that there's sometimes that with the trainings, some of the sites pay for me to travel. So I had a video recently. I took you guys with me on my training trip. I went to Washington State. So they pay not only for me to do the training, they pay for my travel, my hotel, my food, everything. So again, be open. Okay. So I invite you to just take a moment and to identify all the skills that you have that you're utilizing at that job. Okay. More than likely, if you got that job, you are already dope already. Okay. Because it's not easy for us as Black women to get these jobs. So think about all the skills you have. Think about the opportunities for you to um, utilize these skills somewhere else. So if you don't want to work for yourself, that's fine. Look at other jobs where you can utilize these skills. Also, be very mindful that you are probably making some really good connections at that job and people are looking at you. People know that you're dope. Okay. Even if that toxic job is trying to beat you down, even though if they're trying to put you in your place, they're doing that because they see your greatness. They see that in you. Okay. So there's a quote from Bell Hooks who talks about people see your power. They see it and they're trying to destroy it. It's not that they don't see it, they see it and they're trying to destroy it. So recognize your power, recognize your gifts. Other people in that workplace are often recognizing your talents, and those who are not deeply insecure, okay, those who are not trying to terrorize you at the toxic job, the people, the connections that you're making, they might be key in terms of you pivoting and getting opportunities to replace your income. Not only replace it, make more. Okay. So again, be open to that. So again, I'm doing testing. I have multiple streams of income. And these two big buckets in terms of income for me have come because of connections that I made at the toxic job, because people were able to see these things in me and they sought me out. I didn't seek them out. I had no idea about these opportunities, but people sought me out. So again, be open and be open to the possibilities, be open to connections. Who do you know? What are they doing? Are there opportunities for you to do the work that they do or similar to what they do at a similar job? Do they know about other opportunities? And if people that you've met in terms of connection at that job, if they are telling you about opportunities, just be open, listen to what they're offering. And I'm not saying take everything that comes your way, but just be open. It's amazing. I'm still like pinching myself. I can't even believe how this has happened for me. And I want to say this too as I'm signing off. When I was at that toxic job, I had several separate people, and they would say this to me like over different periods of time, right? So um, they would come up to me and they would say, um, "I don't see you working here for very long. I see something so much bigger for you. I don't see you here. Like I see you really going much higher than this, okay?" And let me tell you that I had a hard time receiving that at the time because I felt at that time that my mission was to fight, for the rights of Black children and Black staff and Black families. And I'm like, no, this is my place. Like, I'm here to fight, right? I'm here to fight. And that it bothered me. Honestly, it did. It bothered me when people would say that. And I felt like, are they saying I don't belong here? So I'm seeing it in a negative way. And I just know this about myself, and you may know this about yourself too, that sometimes I love structure. I love predictability to a degree. I love knowing that the 5th of every month I was getting a paycheck, right? I love that. But I had to get to a point that was less important to me. What was most important to me was that I was still alive to be able to enjoy or do things with my life and not be so beat down from that job. So while I do like predictability, I have more predictability now because I'm controlling the streams of income that are coming my way. Okay. So that might be a possibility for you. And so again, you might be in a toxic job and people are seeing you. People are seeing your light. They're seeing you shine. And I'm not saying the deeply insecure people who are trying to, they see your light and they're trying to dim it. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who see your light and they see so much bigger for you, and you may not even be able to see it. You may not even be open to hearing that, just like I was. I got kind of irritated when people kept saying that to me. I don't see you here for long. I see you doing something much bigger than being at the district. And they were right. They were right. Okay. So be open. That's my sign off saying being open to you. And again, take an opportunity to write down all the skills that you are currently utilizing at that job and that you are probably doing a really good job at. Write those down. Write down connections that you have, maybe that are at their job or maybe that you've met through the job. Maybe if they've left the job, are you still in connection with them? What are they doing? Do they have any recommendations for jobs? Um, do you want to start a side hustle? Are there certain people you want to connect to in terms of if you have a side hustle, do you want to do contract work? There are so many different options. And so I want to take time to also share with you about options. I want to give you practical tips about how you can leave that toxic job. And like I said before, I'm going to have a financial masterclass coming up soon with a Black woman financial psychologist to help me. And so if you want to be in that masterclass, click on the link and get on the waiting list for that masterclass. Okay. And then if you want that and you need extra support, you're a Black woman, you're ready to leave and you're stuck and you need extra support, we can book a discovery call to see if we're a good fit with one another. And if maybe I can help you leave that toxic job. Okay. So I'm signing off. Remember, you have options, even though it doesn't feel that way. And I want to share my story with you and just be very honest with you about so many times I've closed myself off, or I used to close myself off about opportunities. And then when I just said to myself, just be open, So many things have come my way. So many things have come my way to the point where, again, I never could have envisioned these things, but people have sought me out to the point where periodically I just stop during my day and I just say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you for revealing this to me. Thank you for showing me a way out. Thank you for creating a life for me that is more abundant and creating a life for me that's more aligned with the life that I want to live. And that's what I want for you too. I want you to be able to create and live the life that you want to live. Okay. Okay. So I'm signing off, and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already done so, and share this video with at least 2 other Black women. Okay. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.